Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to talk about the devastating effects of anger and why people are so unforgiving towards other people that get angry. So it's not the actual anger or losing your temper that people are unforgiving about. It's the fact that you actually lost control of the situation. So there's a lot of different reasons why people can get angry. Some can be slightly justified, some cannot. But the question is, you know, um, is there really ever a justification for someone getting angry? Well, you can be really irritated and annoyed, but when you're angry, you lose your temper and you lash out at the other people. You're essentially losing control. So, for example, if you're the CEO or the president of a company and you start lashing out at people or you start losing control, uh, your people are not going to follow you anymore. They're not going to regard you as their leader. So, you know, it's just one mistake that you made. You lost control, but it's a big mistake. And people do not like other people that lose control of their emotions and their actions. So, yes, what you felt at that time, you got really worked up, you got really annoyed, irritated. But the action that you did, which was lashing out and losing control, that is something that's not acceptable. And I know a lot of friendships, I know a lot of people that have lost their friendships just because they made this one mistake. And it's completely understandable that the person at the receiving end of this anger is not willing to forgive the person that lashed out in anger because they said some brutal things, they said some really harsh things, and there's a doubt that actually raises that comes into the mind of the receiver. They're like, does this person always feel like that about me? So when you say things in anger, you lose control. You're essentially not yourself. You're not yourself in a neutral state, and you don't recognize yourself. So it's so important to be always in control. There's a lot of people that can really irritate and annoy you, and it's easy to become impatient with people. But it is so important to always have control of the situation. Even if you're starting to lose control, you should try to just think about, even in the moment, you should try to recapture that control. And you should try to stop yourself from completely lashing out, and you should try to apologize to that person. Even if you started doing it, you don't need to end it that way. If you're if you're lashing out at someone, make sure that you're always present and try to maintain some level of control because this is something that destroys relationships. It destroys relationships between spouses, between parents and children, between employees and their bosses, everyone. So this kind of thing no one can tolerate, and it's completely understandable why people do not tolerate it, even though it's one mistake and it can happen to anyone. And anger is a natural emotion, but your action of lashing out is not something that is not within your control. It is within your control. So it's so important to do that. So